Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Alex Japan. Welcome to another guitar lesson. And if you didn't see the poll, I put up a poll just asking if anyone would be interested in a guitar lesson for my version of Flapping Wings. And yeah, quite a few of you wanted a guitar lesson for it, so we're going to do it. So I don't want to just make this a straightforward guitar lesson for guitarists. I want to actually talk a bit about just my approach to this, what I was thinking, and just making it interesting for non-guitarists as well, because I'll talk about sort of where I drew influences from, like specific BAND-MAID songs, and just specific things that I think hopefully you'll find interesting. So I'm going to make this a very quick lesson. I'm not going to bother with the just the different sections. I'm just going to go through what I did and just talk about it, and we'll go from there. And I'll play each part slow, so if you do want to try out some of these ideas yourself, you can, because there's some cool little things in there. So hopefully anything you pick up from here you can just add to your own playing. And don't let this shirt fool you. I'm not sporty in the slightest. I've been listening to a lot of the Wild Hearts lately, which are one of my favorite bands of all time, and I just so happened to have this limited edition shirt from this album tour. So if you don't know the Wild Hearts, you should definitely check them out. They're a really good band. And excuse the mess, I just haven't tidied up, and yeah, just wanted to do this quickly for you. So here we go, let's get into it. Okay, so before going into this, my kind of mission statement to myself was just to, and kind of what I learned from the last one for Peace&love, was just to make it more simple, and not try and throw everything in like I did last time. And just adopt, Konami's way of thinking when it comes to that kind of stuff, because she will always do what's best for the song. So I tried to do that as well, and the fact that this song didn't have like any guitar in it, hardly any, it was kind of like a blank slate, which was great, because it meant that I could really think about what she would do realistically, and the space was there really to do it. I have to admit, when I first heard the song, I thought it was going to be really hard to do guitar for. I had no idea what I was going to do. With Peace&love, I had some sort of idea. But when I first heard this, especially with how crazy the drum track is, it's kind of like drum and bass almost. I was like, is there going to be any room for guitar at all? But yeah, I just sat down with it, put on a guitar track and just played along. Just played around with some ideas. Some things stayed, some things changed, and we'll talk about that just now with the intro kind of riff. And just quickly before we start, I just want to say thank you so much for all the comments on this. It was so cool that you guys enjoyed it so much. Just warmed my heart, and it was really encouraging. So yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so we start things off with a very kind of slow tapping thing, and obviously Konami likes her tapping. So I kind of came up with the fast part first. The tapping parts just are, I can't really take a specific song that, the tapping inspiration comes from, because all her tapping, she does tap quite a lot. So yeah, every BAND-MAID song gives me tapping inspiration. This tapping pattern is very straightforward, and the slow part, I just slowed it down. So that's just a cool little effect you can do. So all that is just you're hammering on 9, and then hammering on 10, and then you're playing 17 with your tap. And then you pull off back to the 9 and just repeat it over. And then we get into the fast ones. So that's just, we're doing it slightly different. That we're starting on the tap now. Before we weren't. We were starting on the lowest note, but now we're starting on the highest note. And then we're moving up to 19, and then up to 21. If I had 24 frets, I probably would have gone up to the 24 or the 23. I just ran out of frets. And then after that, yeah, we just jumped straight into the intro kind of riff. So the intro riff, when I first sat down to do it, I had the idea to kind of make it heavily delayed, kind of like the dotted eighth notes in Onset, you know, that kind of that kind of thing. I kind of wanted that for over the intro. So I did come up with a part and I had that kind of set in stone. But then as I was kind of jamming, when it went into the bridge, I came up with, I just went into this. And I really liked that. I thought it sounded really cool. I just couldn't keep both because it would be too much delay. So I went back to the drawing board on the intro, and I just thought, well, I'll put on the Octave Effect because she kind of likes to use that, especially for little lead melodies and stuff. So I thought, it could benefit from a little lead melody since there's no vocals. So I'll just put that effect on. So the part I came up with was this. Okay, so that main part was just, I just felt like it's just something Konami would do. She likes to, do these little pentatonic things, especially when she's using the Octave Effect. And these little cool bends. I just thought it'd change it up the second time round. So all we're doing here is going from 11 to 9 on the G, pull off, do the same on the D, do it twice. Down to 7, down to 6, back to 7. And then bend on the 9. On the D, do a little up-down bend. And then come down here to 7 on the A. 7, 5, 4, 2. And then hammer on pull off 2 to 4 to open A. Do the same again, and then we finish it with. And this bit is kind of inspired by a couple of different things. So this part, kind of inspired by the daydreaming solo, where she does that kind of. So I just thought, same kind of thing. And then, because I had just learned the solo for Manners, I was kind of trying to incorporate some of the cool things she was doing there. Doing these cool little licks into legato licks. So the Manners part went like. So I like that. So I kind of did the same. And then the legato into that. Okay, so all that is so we're doing a slide from 13 to 14 on the G, and we're playing 17 on the B, and then bend that, and then this little lick. So it's just 14 to 16. And then hammer on pull off 14 to 15 on the B. And then come back down. And then the legato lick is just 13, 14, 16. And then 14, 15, 17. And then bar, and then just play the high E on the 17. Okay, next part goes into the verse, and I just thought I'd leave the guitar off just to give the vocals some room. And then all I did here was just kind of beef up the guitar that's there. There is guitar there if you listen carefully. So there's no chords, I just decided to play the chords. So I thought it sounded really cool with these chords, especially with the Octave Effect still on. So that guitar is there, if you listen closely, but the chords aren't. So I just thought I'd back that up, you know, because it's very, you know, you want to hear the guitar, especially if there is guitar there already. And then it goes into the pre-chorus part, and this is where I really felt the song was lacking a little bit in this. You know, I do really like the song, but I just felt like there needed to be more in this section. Just to beef it up, it sounded a bit too weak, but I guess maybe they wanted to keep it like that to make the chorus stand out a bit more. So I decided just to play like a kind of chord progression that fit underneath it. It does follow the chords, kind of. The chords that the piano plays are a little different, but they follow the same kind of idea. So all I was doing here was and then that. So the chords, you know, just to beef it up, we'll talk about that bit in a minute. So we've got basically we've got a D here with a C sharp bass. Then we're going to the D, and then an E. Okay. I actually had another idea when it went into the second time round. I kind of went. But I just decided to keep it, you know, the chords, it kind of got lost, that part underneath, and it just sounded weird. So yeah, if I had control over the mix, I could have maybe done something with that, but as it was, I just kept it chordal. And then, yeah, that lead part that I was doing, let's put on some delay. Just sounded really beautiful over that chord progression. And then we finish it with this when there's space to go. And I actually did it up here too. Although that guitar the high guitar didn't have the octave effect on. So both guitars are doing that. And that part was just inspired by the Wonderland riff pretty much. I just thought it just sounds so cool with the octave effect on. It's very Prince, I feel. I don't know. I guess anything with that octave effect, you know, because he used it a lot. But I just thought it sounded really cool going into it, and it's a nice little kind of homage to that song and the kind of Conqueror sound, because that's kind of when she first started using the octave effect. So it's just a slide back and forth between 9 and 10 on the D string. And that's it, and then it's into the chorus. So the chorus, I just went straight to, you know, Konami's bread and butter, which is the octaves. It was the only thing that I could really do in this part that would just complement the vocals, and I tried to sort of take bits from the vocal line to incorporate. I didn't want to try and make it too different, but also, you know, I was just doing like counter melodies and stuff, something Konami does a lot too. Okay, so yeah, just a classic Konami kind of chorus octave riff there. It's very easy when you're doing octaves to kind of stay in this kind of realm where your root notes on the A string or the root notes on the E string, because then you only have one fret in between that you need to mute. But Konami often goes to the next lot of strings, and then you have a space of 2 frets. So it just makes it a little bit harder, I guess. And yeah, when I first started doing it, it's because I wasn't used to doing it, so it made it a bit harder for me. So yeah, just wanting to incorporate that too. So it just starts off on the 12th. So we're starting with the root notes all on the A string. And that's just 12, to 7. And then 14 to 7. 11 to 12. And that's just 12. 7. 5, 4, 4 to open. And then same again. And then that's a slightly variation, so, and then up to 14. 14, 16. 14, 12. And then we do, we're kind of like mimicking what we did here. Kind of, you know, we're taking inspiration from that little lick that we did before. That was completely unintentional. That just happened. It's just one of those things that just, yeah, because you've already done it. It's kind of in your mind. So I didn't realize until afterwards that like that's what I did. So that jump is quite tricky, where you have to jump from the 3 string to the, when you have to jump from the 1 fret spacing to the 2 fret spacing. So fast, and you have to mute the string too. So that's all it is. So here it's 14 on the D and it's 17 on the B. And we're muting the G. And then we slide up. 16, 14, 12, 11 to 9, and then slide out of it. And that's the whole chorus. Okay, and then into the, you know, just that intro riff again. I changed the end a bit just because it's a shorter one, so it didn't have the dee 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 doo. So I changed it to just to keep it up high. 12 to 11 to 9, hammer on to 11, and then finish on 7. And then it's into the second verse. Okay, so the part for the second verse is probably my favorite part of the whole thing, and I've actually no idea where it came from. I just kind of was noodling about with some. I just thought because it's a lot more open, there's hardly any. There's not much other instruments going on. Kind of opened it up for the guitar to do some more interesting stuff. So I just started like messing about with some lead stuff, and I feel like what I came up with like was quite Santana-ish. Which is weird because Santana's Konami's favorite guitarist, but you don't tend to hear a lot, or you don't think you hear a lot of his influence in her playing, but maybe you do and you just don't realize, because that's kind of what I thought. And I thought the stuff I was coming up with was quite Konami-ish, but then it also just really reminded me of Santana, so I was like, maybe there's something to all that. What do you think? So I switched over to the neck pickup. So it starts off like this. So yeah, just really kind of Santana-y, especially that part. So yeah, I don't really know what influenced me to do that, apart from, you know, just doing it, thinking about what Konami would do, but, you know, maybe she thinks that way about, you know, Santana too, so who knows. And then I just had this cool idea to do something really crazy with, you know, she obviously really likes to do these chromatic triplets. You know, she uses them all the time. So I just thought it'd be cool to make up something using these chromatic little triplets. So at first it sounds really random, but you know, I kind of wanted it to sort of not be in time, but like you know, sort of the timing would overlap into the next bar, but then it would kind of, the timing would kind of sort itself out at the end, if you know what I mean. So it's, you know, it's cool like that. I quite, you know, It took me a while to kind of figure out how to do that and get it to, you know, stop in the right place. But all it is just going. Oh, I did it wrong there. There we go. Just quickly, I will just tell you what the notes are in the order, just in case you really want to try and play along. But the best thing to do, I think, would just be to listen slowly and, you know, just play along by ear. So 9, 10, 11, 10 on the G, and then just go back down. And then just start again. And then go here to the 11 on the G. And then you basically just start it over again. And then we just end it with. And then this little lick at the end, you know, just a classic Konami run, using the triplets again. So what that is we do the triplets, legato, here on the D, and then we do the same on the G, then we do it twice. And then the next one is on the B, and we go 9, 10, 11. Sorry, 9, 10, 12. So all together. And then we do it twice again. And then we go to the 9 on the high E, and then we hold the 10 a bit longer on the E, and then we go 9, 10 on the B, so the lick all together. Then we do a slide up to 12 and back. Again, you know, kind of you know, just keeping things all tied together that way. Okay, and then the kind of build-up part, you know, I just felt like that, you know, that bit kind of gets lost a little bit in the chorus with everything going on, but I thought in the build-up it would really stand out, so that's why I did it there, and I thought it sounded really cool. And then I brought the tapping back in from the intro, and yeah, and then just went into the last chorus. And then the very last part was kind of inspired again by the end of Manners, where she does these very similar octaves. Very spacious, and on the high strings too. So all we're doing is just 14 on the D, 17 on the B. Move that shape down, and then down 1 fret. That's all it is. Like the part in Manners goes something like that. But yeah, it's just, and I just did. So yeah, very similar idea, you know, just changing it really to fit the song. And that was it. So yeah, it was a very simple session, all in all. I just, you know, like I said, I really don't want to make it too complicated, because I just feel it would, you know, take away from the song. Just try and do what's best for the song, like Konami would do. And yeah, just did what came naturally, which is, you know, usually always the best way to go about these things. So if there was anything there that you picked up that you know, think you might want to play, then that would be awesome, and I really hope that you like incorporate some of that into your playing. That would be really cool. And if you want to ask me anything about it, feel free to do so in the comments. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Even if you're not a guitarist, I hope you found it a little bit interesting. And yeah, who knows who's going to phone me next? I don't understand where they're getting my number from. You know, I keep blocking them, but it just keeps happening. We'll see when that happens, if it happens. Take care, guys. Stay safe, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.